Jesus. I want you to be glorified, be lifted high. Oh, it's for you, just for you. Be lifted high. Come on, lift your hands in the building tonight. Fill my life till all they see is you, Lord. Glorify your name. Fill my life till all they see is you, Lord. Glorify your name. Fill my life. Come on, with all they see. If all you want them to see is the King, glorify your name. Come on, say, fill my life. Till they see, Lord, I don't want them to see me, but I want them to see you. Fill my life, Lord. Fill me to overflowing, Lord. Come on, somebody lift up the prayer. Fill my life till all they see is you. Come on, glorify your name. We glorify your name. Somebody lift up the King of Kings. He is the Lord of Lords. He is Alpha and Omega. He's your beginning and your end. We glorify your name. You're so holy. You're so worthy. You're so wonderful. And we love you, Lord. We want you to get the glory. Anybody want to feel God's glory? Anybody want to feel God's power? 'Cause all I want is for you to be glorified, for you to be lifted high. All I want is for you, Lord, to be glorified, for you to be lifted. Come on, sing. All I want is for you to be glorified. Lift up your name. We lift up your name, Lord. All I want is for you.
You can lift those hands right there. Listen. In my life, be lifted high in our world. Be lifted high in our love. Be lifted high, Lord. Higher, higher, say. We want you to be our Lord. Be lifted, our love. We want you, God. We want you, God.
Be lifted in our world. Be lifted in our world. Be lifted high. Come on, be lifted. In this world we need you today. Come on and be lifted. In our life, be lifted. Be lifted.
WDDO, W300EB, Macon, Perry, 107.9 FM and 980 AM. the glory.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It is now time for the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwenette, Westbrooks, and Mr. Dumas.
Good evening and welcome to another segment of the NAACP Truth Show. I'm Willie Dumas, your host. Joining me today, we have Mr. I'll let him introduce Herbert Denard. Mr. Herbert Denard with the Walk Away Initiative. And we're going to talk about that initiative and some of the things that are happening with it here in our community, as well as some of the things happening around the community that would require programs such as this Walkaway initiative. Good evening. How you doing, Mr. Denard?
I'm wonderful, and I've been telling Miss Gwen Westbrook I was coming every week, and the week passed by, and I don't show up. I forgot and everything else. But she called me today and reminded me, and I'm glad to be here. I'm honored to be here.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you here.
She works with me and she visits the jail with me, talking to the inmates, and she helped them. And I've been going to it a lot longer than she, but they love her more.
Wow. Well, you know, sometimes some people just have that edge, you know. Some of them just
got that edge because I be talking motivation and she talk motivation. But she find ways to get some that's been there too long,
wow.
And she gets some released. And that is ran rampant throughout the jail. And so when they know she's there, they just be there like studious little children.
They're paying attention.
Yeah, Miss Westbrook is something else. They love her there.
Speaking of her, she just came into the studio, and so we're going to bring her on in just a few minutes. But kind of talk about how this initiative came by for our new listening audience. We may have some individuals that don't really know about the program and what it consists of.
1 year, more than 80 people were killed.
Wow.
In Macon. 80% of them was Black.
Wow.
And it touched me. And so I decided to, and I got with some other people, and we decided that we would have something at New Pleasant Grove. And you just told me you was there.
Right.
And the place turned out, and it was just a lot of people, overflow crowd there.
Absolutely.
And so from that, we was talking to the, what I found out, we was talking to the people that wasn't going to do anything. What I mean by that, we was talking to good people. They wasn't breaking in nothing. They won't shooting nobody. They won't killing nobody. The people that I wanted to reach was not there.
And that's usually the case.
I remember you had one at Reverend Tony's church too.
Yeah, we had one at Reverend Tony's church. And as we kept going, we kept bringing a lot of people there, but the people that we was trying to reach wasn't there. So I decided then that let's go to the jail. And we met with the sheriff, and the sheriff didn't want to do it at first. We kept meeting with him, and he finally said, well, we'll try it, but nobody will come. He said, I don't believe the people, because they can't make them come.
Right.
And we had the first meetings, and we had the maximum amount of people we could have there. And so we started off. But I'd like to ask you this. What do you do if you were sleeping and somebody is playing loud music down the street from you? And you go down there and talk to them, and they cuss you out. When things like that happen, most of the time, we want to get them back, and we mess around and go to jail over something like that, or shoot somebody over something like
right.
that. And most of the things that we have looked at, it's not over bad things, it's over simple things that people get in arguments about, get in fights about. One lady ended up getting her boyfriend killed because she caught the man stole her parking space and he cussed her out. And she called her boyfriend on the phone. The boyfriend rushed down there and he cussed the boyfriend out and they had arguments and exchanges. And he ended up killing the young thug that was doing all that bad talking.
Wow.
Most of the time, the people that are killed is we are killing each other.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we trying to do something about it. And Miss Westbrook come down there. And when she finds that some of the things that she could do in contacts, and because they overcrowded in the jail, and she's able to get folks out of jail.
Wow.
And she's able to set some people free. She really is a fantastic worker.
Absolutely.
And she's dedicated. And so when I'll be up speaking, they be trying to give me hints. Hurry up and sit down.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
They want
to hear.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to hear President Westbrook.
They want to hear her because she really, really listens to them and she talks to them. I'll tell them, and she tell them also, you need to get your GED. You can get your GED while you're in jail.
Right.
You could turn a lemon into lemonade.
That's right.
They like that. But when Miss Westbrook be finding some kind of ways to get them out of jail, and she shows up at the courtroom and talk to them, they want to hear her talk. I call her and say, Miss Westbrook, can you get down here? These folks are asking for you. But there's people end up getting in arguments over small things.
That's true.
And they end up shooting somebody or somebody shooting them.
And my brother lost his life like that. My 19-year-old brother lost his life. Was at a girl's house. Her and her boyfriend had just, recently broke up, and some of his friends saw him there and they went and got him, and he came there and shot and killed him. So, it's just senseless killing. And so she wasn't with him because he was in prison, and she with somebody else. So it's just it's crazy. But like Mr. Denard says, that when you go in and you listen to these people's stories, because even when we talk to them in a group, I talk to them one-on-one, and sometimes they have attorneys. Even though they have attorneys, I'm kind of limited what I can do. So I'll reach out to their attorney and tell them what concerns they have, but I still will send the sheriff an email and say blah blah whatever's going on. But at the same time, I have made some recommendations. I think last week for about 8-9 people to be considered to be released, and I know that some have been approved because I got a phone call from some of them this weekend. Want to know how long it's gonna take. So it's a process. They have to, when you make the recommendation to be released on this new ankle monitor, it has to go before the DA, then go before the attorney. Their attorney has to be notified, and the judges have to sign off on it. So it's a process. But what we trying to do, Mr. Denard is doing an awesome job. I think it was a wonderful idea. We've been working with inmates, ever since I've been the president. But as far as you have more being able to go in with Mr. Denard to actually talk to them, and you hear their stories, you got a lot of people that are in jail that are not guilty. They're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. You got some that are guilty of what they did. But when you hear some of the stories, sometimes I just see that sometimes it's not enough investigation done on the front end, and then it causes people to be, disconnected from their families, their children, and then the charges end up getting dismissed. It's just disheartening. And now I'm seeing more where people are charged with failure to appear. So that's alarming too, because I don't know why that's kind of an increase of people being incarcerated for failure to appear. So I got a list of people that I got to go down and pull some things at the courthouse to make sure that they had the right addresses or whatever.
And the tragedies go on and on. This past week, the suspect over on I guess Jeffersonville Highway at the Family Dollar, where 2 individuals were shot, one fatally shot. And then the perpetrator was later shot, fleeing the police here off of Spring Street. And so it seems like, these types of tragedies just go on, and they usually involve African Americans against African Americans. And so
Right.
As a community, we've got to try to solve this issue, and that's one way through the walkaway program. If people would just take the time to reason,
They need to control their anger.
right.
Right.
They get mad. We was meeting with women one day. I don't know if you were in there that day or not. And the 2 women we had to hold them apart.
Wow.
Now we have Jerry Anderson, the guy that used to be called the kingpin of drugs around Macon. He comes in, and for all the stuff he's done while he was in jail, he hasn't done anything wrong.
Right.
Because he don't want to add time on. He don't want to add nothing to it while he's in jail. And all the stuff, he was selling drugs, but he's never been even brought charges against doing anything else.
Right.
If you're in jail, the last thing you want to do is add more time on what you got.
That's right.
And that's what some of them doing. But they want to see Miss Westbrook. And the reason they want to see Miss Westbrook, she tell them about, she find out, first of all, when have you seen your lawyer? She find out that some of them been in jail 6 months and haven't talked to a lawyer yet.
Wow.
The public defenders don't even come there or don't even talk to them.
Wow.
They suppose, and then if they have an attorney, the attorney show up sometime on the day of the trial.
Almost the day of the trial, and that's an issue. That's called ineffective counseling. When
Exactly.
you don't, the cases are not. You're not doing, discovery. Some of the complaints that we have, they haven't seen their attorney. They're not getting their discovery. They don't even know what's going on with their cases, and so that's another issue that we got to deal with too. Because it's getting, I got notebooks full of documents.
Full.
Wow.
Yeah, notebooks with a plural. Where people are complaining about not seeing their attorney. So it's really alarming because people depend on that, and when you have an attorney that you're not that's not communicating with you, and you don't know anything about your case, it puts you in a position to plead when you probably wouldn't plead if you had proper
better
representation. Right.
And also, doesn't that become an issue within the jail when it develops hostilities within the the inmates when they don't have the representation they feel they should have, and those kinds of things just kind of build up the anguish and the anger in them, and so that's where a lot of the fights and those kind of things kick off within the jail.
Some of that is a reason, but some of them just come in there mad.
Wow. just
what
from
I'm
the
saying.
start.
I mean, and they've been taught all their lives. Somebody hit you, hit them back, hit them
Wow.
back, hit them back. And back then, we was hitting them back with a stick or something. Now
They're shooting them.
Right.
Yeah.
They shooting them back.
It's more fatal.
And right now, today, 14 people have been killed in Macon.
Wow.
14.
Wow.
All 14 are black.
Right. We killing each
Exactly.
other. And you got to have some sense of, I just think you have to value life yourself in order, if you don't value your own life, then people just, they don't
Right.
value anybody else's life. But I know that's one of the things that we talk about too in the Walkaway Initiative is, try not to get in any more trouble while you're down there.
Right.
And everybody in there has my cell phone number. Sometimes I get calls. People fear for their lives, or something. A parent may call and say, my son's been threatened, blah blah blah, something. And so I'll call, or actually send sometimes I have to call, but I'll send the email for backup, and say this person been threatened, and they normally, get them moved to somewhere else where they, if they truly, they feel like their life is in jeopardy.
Well, we also like to hear from the community, and if you would give us a call here at the station, 478-250-1444. If you have any questions for Mr. Denard or for President Westbrooks, in regards to the Walkaway Initiative, or how you've been affected here in your community as it relates to violent crimes and black on black crimes. Once again, that number is 478-250-1444. And we look to hear from you. And so give us a call.
You know, something else Mr. Denard did too. He had brought the media in. I think it was the men's. Was it men?
Yes.
Brought the media in. They, didn't show their faces, but he brought the media in to, kind of hear from the inmates. And it was a good thing, I think, that that happened. You want to talk about that, Mr. Denard?
Yeah, we had the Telegraph and WMAZ
to come inside.
Right. And we talked about them, but the jail is a bad situation. There's a lot of bad things going on in the jail. And I could talk about it forever and ever, but one of the things is let me say about Miss Westbrook again.
There you go.
She go down to court when they having court. I'm talking to them in the jail, but when she talked to them individually, we let them go talk to her if they got a personal problem, they got something particular going on.
Right.
And one-on-one, she talks to them one-on-one. And when she talked to them like that one-on-one, they tell her when the trial is, when they go into court, and she's there with them. Wow. She had me there with her a couple of times. I mean, you really got a person here that's really reaching out. The NAACP is marvelous. And I'm going to tell you something else. White folks down in the jail, they love the NAACP.
Absolutely.
And they don't love it so much for those reasons. Because she talked to anybody there with an issue.
Absolutely.
We try to encourage them to get a GED while they're in jail. We try to encourage them to get involved, and we try to throw some situations that most of the people in jail are single men.
Wow.
Very, very few married men are in jail. That's tell you when you married,
kind of keeps you under control.
your wife, she's the sheriff.
That's right.
Yeah, and you see a lot of people with housing issues too, especially the men. And that's how I think is a lot of domestic violence with that, because most of the time the men are staying with the women and
put them out.
And you know how we get, when we get mad and whatever reason you come in late or you don't come in at all or whatever the reason, we getting ready to put you out.
Exactly.
And so, I think that's where a lot of domestic violence comes in, when family violence comes in, because a lot of men do not have anywhere to stay. They're depending on the females to, staying with them, probably not contributing, sometimes also not contributing to the household. So, we applied for we just talked about in our meeting, Mr. Dumas applied for a bill grant that the national is giving, if you are approved, right, giving the branches monies, and you have to put what you're going to be doing. And so that's one of the things that I incorporated in our grant that we were going to be looking at housing and training, maybe employment, helping people with find jobs and things like that, that are incarcerated, that are being released from jail, to help find housing and different things like that. So hopefully that we will get the money, so we'll be able to help some of these people that are being released. Exactly.
Now, one of the things that used to happen when a person's released, aren't they given a certain stipend?
Nothing.
Wow. Wow.
They had a man that was from Dublin, Georgia, the other day. I was down there, and he had just been released, and he called somebody to pick him up, and he couldn't find anybody to pick him up.
Wow.
And so he walked out to the on 16 and put his thumb out like we used to do years ago.
Right, hitchhiking.
He started hitchhiking on. They don't give you nothing. When you get out of there, you get nothing.
Wow.
That's true, because I can remember a young man. He lived in Vienna, Georgia, somewhere down there, and he was released. And I had communicated back, because this was a misdemeanor with the solicitor, but he was released, and he actually called me from a business downtown. So I went there to the business, and they was letting them sit there till I got there, and I was just so thankful for them. They had initially told us that we had to leave because they were coming in, because we was trying to get them away home, and so I was going to pay for it with my credit card, but I had to download the Uber, whatever, the transportation. And so I was having a hard time doing that for some reason. I don't know why, but the owner of the business came out and he said, "Let me just pay for it." He paid for him
Wow.
transport his fare to get home to there. So they don't. He was released. And you just release, and you got to figure out how you're going to get home, whether you live out of town or not.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's pretty interesting because they know they've been incarcerated the whole time, no access to funding outside of their books, and that's not cash.
and
So,
that's hopefully we can incorporate that into our if somebody's released from jail and they don't have, if they're from out of town and they don't have transportation, maybe we can kind of incorporate that if we get approved for the grant for that for those purposes. So
absolutely, because that's very much needed.
do you want to go ahead and announce that about the town hall meeting?
Right. We're going to be hosting a town hall meeting in NAACP on the east side of town. It's going to be at Union Baptist Church this Thursday, beginning at 6:00. We're going to try to have some state representatives there, so you can ask questions about and some of the concerns you may have, as well as getting some information. And so we're asking everyone to come out. You don't have to live on the east side to come. We just hosting it on the east side. So
we're trying to move it on in different
locations,
side towns, because the last time we had it here at the station here.
Right.
And then we've had it at my church in the south side. So we're trying to hold these town hall meetings throughout the Macon area. And so we're going to be, talking about some of the updates on the jail conditions. I'm kind of limited what I can talk about. And so we'll talk about the education level and the health. We are dealing with that with the new with our with John F. Kennedy Jr. With this health crisis that we have, which is very scary.
Indeed.
Right. And so we'll talk about the camera system also.
Which is back in effect.
Yeah. So. And so that's hopefully, and we're planning on inviting Mr. Representative Washburn there, because that bill is not dead. This is an opportunity for it to be presented again, and we want to make sure that we have busloads of folks at the Capitol when it comes back up, just like they had these camera folks and the people that they gave money to. We want to make sure that we have representation just like they did, because I was telling you back in July, I was on my way to church to a revival, and the light was flashing right there at Matilda Hartley School at 7:30 at night.
Right.
And so, people we're still facing with issues where people are, these lights are coming on, then you got to try to prove that you wouldn't, you didn't do anything wrong when the light shouldn't be flashed. School wasn't even in at that time. So we still are having issues, and they're talking about safety. And I'm looking at Northwood Academy School, where where my niece goes to, and it's a one-laner, and the traffic is backed up almost down the street 3-4
blocks
down, because it's a one-laner, and then you got everybody's not going to the school, but you can't pass, so people got to sit there that's not, kids not going to school. But at the same time, when you're coming out, they got a staff person that's out there directing the traffic, because when you're coming out, it's actually almost like a 4-way stop. So they got it blocked off, so you can't come straight out. You got to detour and go to the right, whether because I'm actually going away from home, because I got to go to the right to go toward Riverside and then go back and turn around and then come back. And they're doing that so they won't have a collision because it's almost like a four-way stop. There's no traffic light, no, and then why do a staff member needs to be out there directing the traffic? They're talking about, but they just announced last week that they put a speed camera out there, but they doing this for safety. But it can't be for safety because if you would put something there so the staff members would not have to stand out there and direct traffic and take the chance of actually being ran over. Out there trying to direct the traffic to make sure people don't, go to the left because, like I said, they got it blocked out where you can't even go straight out. You got to go to the right, and that's basically for their protection so they won't get hit because you got traffic coming from across the street, coming from the right, and you got traffic coming from the left. So, I'm just telling the community, we slow down.
Right.
We got to do what we need to do for them not to make one more penny because they're just collecting money, making millions of dollars. And then you see the mayor didn't even release any of the money till they came up on a scrutiny.
Right. Exactly.
They have been collecting money for years. And another thing is, I think is discriminatory. And I think because of the way they're doing these cameras, you got people that getting tickets 2 years ago where they're just putting cameras up in areas last week. So if in my opinion, if they weren't going to put the cameras up at one time, they shouldn't have put them up because you got people been getting tickets for 2 years versus communities that just getting cameras up last week. And you saw where they put the cameras at in the very beginning. They put them in the black community.
Right.
Put these cameras and they made millions of dollars off of it. So what I'm saying is community, until we can hopefully, I'm going to support Dale Washburn on this issue. Until we can get this changed, we need to slow down so they can't make
any money. Yeah.
So they can't make any money. And then, we all know that, we find out that the superintendent can actually say that he don't want these cameras. And I think they need to look. I haven't seen not one student walking to school. What's the purpose of the cameras and the cameras,
right.
Where's the cross guards? Do they even have cross guards anymore? So you don't have kids walking to school. They're either brought by the bus or they're being brought by their parents. So what's the purpose of that? I'm just looking at Pierce Avenue and taking my niece to school every day. Traffic is backed up. You got a one laner. It's terrible.
And on Sherland Drive at MLK, there's no crosswalks. It's just flashing lights, and like you said, the buses are traveling through, but no kids crossing the road or anything like that.
No, because people don't walk to school anymore. So it's about money. That's what I'm encouraging this community to do. Slow down. Do not give them any reason to send you a ticket. We gotta make sure they don't make no money.
Exactly.
I agree 100%.
Because that seems to be what's driving it.
Because I'm trying to I'm hoping that Mr. Representative Washburn will be able to attend this meeting Thursday. That got to be discussed. The jail has to be discussed, updating. I know the mayor, and I appreciate the mayor, what he's doing and this initiative he's doing and trying to get people released from jail. But we still, people do have no idea how many. I'm not just looking at how many people are in jail with these prolonged cases. There's a lot of people that are out on bond. Cases are still pending from 6-7 years ago. That are still pending. Even though they're not incarcerated, their life still is on hold.
Right.
If you got a pending case and you still haven't gone to court. So we're just looking at incarcerated and non-incarcerated. So we're just hoping that people in this community, we gotta come together and stand together on these issues that's going on, because they want the NAACP to fight for the rights, but then they won't stand up for themselves.
Exactly.
So when we have things, y'all need to come out and you need to show up. That's the only way you're gonna get stuff changed. Because if you just sit back waiting for somebody else to do something, we gotta stay. That's why these other cities are able to get stuff done, because they come together and they stand up for what's right. We're not doing that in Macon.
We're
not doing that in Macon. You know, we got to stop getting money and being silent.
So you have a chance for a fresh start this Thursday to come out to the town hall meeting that'll be held at Union Baptist Church at 6 o'clock in the gymnasium there. And so we look to see you there. We've run out of time.
Thank you, Mr. Denard, for
Thank you,
coming
Mr.
on.
Denard, for being
I
here.
will be there.
You have been listening to the live broadcast
Till
of the
next week.
NAACP with Gwenette, Westbrooks, and Mr. Dumas. Come join us next Monday at 4 o'clock p.m. on 980 WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.